Hi, and welcome to the next installment video of my top 20 all-time favorite sequences from Lost in Space. Right now, we're getting very close to the top 10 as we look at my number 12. Number 12, my 12th favorite sequence. Okay, number 12 belongs to this episode from the third season, Space Creature. Written by William Welch and directed by Sophie Martin. Now, this is an episode that also includes an an uncredited appearance by Ron Gans, who only provides his voice here, does not appear on screen. Now, what this episode is about is they're orbiting a planet where this isolated creature, alien, so forth, lives. And this alien has no corporeal form, only shown as a mist. And the mist appears in the ship, as you're seeing. And then everybody, by the way, I don't know, there's a sort of plot hole here. If the entire family, if time is suspended, why is it not suspended for Will Robinson? Because Will Robinson, his was the focal point when he said he wanted to be left alone. Now, perhaps because the alien is also a loner, that could have been something that attracted the alien to Will Robinson, because, hey, he wants to be left alone, and I am a loner, so I like him. So I don't like everybody else, I like him. And so the alien will freeze time for everybody else except Will Robinson. And so, similar to the Star Trek Next Generation episode, Remember Me, only one person is aware of this, or one person is really the focal point of disappearances. In the Star Trek Next Generation episode, Remember Me, the doctor is yanked into another dimension in which people start disappearing because her thought that was on her mind about people disappearing created that universe. In this situation, it's very, very similar. So I suppose you could say there's speculation of if this episode inspired the writers for the Next Generation episode, Remember Me, because it's similar, based on the same idea. Okay. Also, what I'm going to show you right now as number 12, okay, is very similar to when it was only Beverly and the captain alone on the ship, and the captain assured Beverly that to make sure that he didn't disappear, he asked the computer to give a continuous readout of his biofunctions. That way, it's almost like a lifeline. So, so this is sort of the same idea what you're going to see as number 12.
Warning, warning! What is it now?
Something's gotta happen. He never says that without a reason.
Warning, this is not a drill.
Well, what's wrong?
Altitude. Jupiter 2 is beginning to lose altitude. We're slipping out of orbit.
Damn it!
He's right, we're going down.
Can't you stop us?
Nothing works. Nothing.
Well, at least we're not going down very fast.
We're going down fast enough, son.
Well, what are we gonna do?
At the moment, I don't know. I've been thinking, son. All of this, everything that's happening, it's all connected somehow.
You mean Mom's disappearance and everything?
All the disappearances. And then being caught in that orbit. And now being drawn down to the surface of the planet. There's a single force behind this, I'm sure of it.
Dr. Smith?
Why do you say that?
I don't know. He's always getting mixed up in something.
Well, now that you mention it, where is he?
That's right. I forgot all about him. I guess he got his headache back again.
Smith! Report to the upper deck at once. Acknowledge!
He's disappeared too.
Well, he couldn't have. Not if my theory's correct.
What theory?
Well, look at the viewport. It's clear.
So?
And yet before each disappearance, that blue fog spread itself across it. Now, if Smith disappeared, why didn't we see it again?
Well, then where is he?
Well, we'll find him, all right, but first I'm going to take a precaution. Here, hold on.
What's this for?
Do as I do.
I don't get it, Dad.
Haven't you ever seen mountain climbers in action before?
Oh, yeah, that's a real good idea.
From now on, every place we go on this ship, we go together. Let's go, Smith.
Only 3 left, including me.
Come on.
Danger! Danger! Fear is closing in! Danger! Danger!
Smith?
I guess he doesn't have his headache anymore.
Son, where was your mother the last time you saw her?
She was in the galley by the sonic washer, I think.
And Judy was operating the glide tube. As for Don, he was at the controls of the spaceport.
Was this important?
It could be the one unifying link in all of this, son. You see, before each person disappeared, they were in contact with a machine that had a built-in oscillator.
That's right. I didn't think of that.
Now, supposing we took one of those oscillators and reversed the polarity.
Well, that would make him appear.
Well, it's a long shot, son, but it just might work.
Which one do you want to reverse first?
Well, we try the one of the pod. It had the most power. Come on. No, don't touch any controls. It's allowed. Here.
Dad, does that mean someone else is going to disappear?
Well, every time someone has, that's how the viewport's been.
Not with Dr. Smith.
Yes, he is the exception.
I guess so.
Here, let me check this. All right, son. Now, if the robot's right, the worst thing we can do is to be afraid. You understand?
I'll try. But it isn't easy.
Good boy. Now, I'll go in the pod and reverse the polarity. We'll link this thing yet.
Robot, I have something to tell you.
Dr. Smith has disappeared.
I'm afraid so.
Alas, poor Smith. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy.
I'm sorry, Robot. Dad? 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 Dad?
Okay, that was number 12. Now, we move down. Okay, that was number 12. And now we move up to number 11 as we near the top 10 of my top 20 all-time favorite Lost in Space sequences. And number 11 belongs in this episode, the 5th episode of the series, The Hungry Sea. Teleplay by William Welch, story by Simon Winchelberg, directed by Sophie Martin. Okay, in this episode, the orbit of the planet created the most extreme temperatures, in which the temperature dropped over 100 degrees, and so, despite the fact that space, and this is sort of a plot hole in this episode, since they were concerned that the solar batteries could not withstand the drain of trying to keep the ship in comfortable temperatures. Space is even colder than 124 degrees below zero. So this is a plot hole in this story. But we could forgive that little plot hole. Point is, they decided to head south. Dr. Smith decided to stay behind with the robot. And so that's where we are at the moment. And what is interesting is the Robinsons are in the chariot out in the bitter cold. And yet, apparently the chariot has enough power to heat the interior to keep them warm. Again, that's a little plot hole, technical plot hole, but we can forgive it because sometimes we gotta do that. It's all right. Nothing is perfect. We can't always be precise if we want to tell a story, and that's the way it goes. All right. So, up until then, because as as we showed you at number 20, that there was a directive by Dr. Smith to destroy the family. And at one point, he ordered the robot to do so. And this is where we pick up. And instead of Dr. Smith having the others as company, okay, he has the robot. And this is very telling about what actually turned him around from being the villainous Dr. Smith who wanted to destroy the family to actually being part of the family. Because one of the things, and this is also part of the excitement of the human condition that Gene Roddenberry explored in Star Trek, is the fact that the human being needs solitude. I'm sorry, that was a faux pas. Needs company. It's even written in the poetry of Genesis, where God said, "It is not good that man," meaning a human being, "is to be alone." It is not good for a human being to be alone. And this is instilled in society and civilization. Civilization cannot thrive without people. And the concept of solitude, absolute, total solitude, without any company at all, without another face, without somebody to talk to, without anybody, complete and total solitude, can lead to insanity. So, we now have Dr. Smith alone. Now, how does he deal with it? So this is a very pivotal scene.
Outside temperature now 104 degrees below zero Fahrenheit.
Can't even get that right, can you? 104 below. It was that an hour ago. You mean 124 below.
Outside temperature 104 below Fahrenheit. Correction.
Ah, I told you. Oh, my friend, you've lost your touch completely.
Outside temperature 98 degrees below zero and rising.
Rising? It's true. The temperature is going up.
Affirmative.
That means I won't freeze after all. I'll be all right. But why? What's the reason?
Data on the orbit of this planet.
This is the same nonsense you tried to palm off on me before.
Recommend you review data on Sun.
Well. My dear friend, somewhere in your busy little memory cells is a command I once gave you.
Eliminate all unnecessary personnel at the earliest opportunity.
Precisely. Well, you can forget those orders now. This little scrap of information makes them totally useless. Our little band of pioneers won't trouble us any longer. Rather a dreadful way to die. That's a pioneer's life.
So you were right. Do you have to stand there and gloat? Of course that tiresome family will be wiped out. Well, good riddance. Aren't you going to offer any comment at all? Say something.
Outside temperature plus 30 degrees Fahrenheit and rising.
I get more companionship from the cuckoo clock. What's the use? You beat me in 3 moves. By this time, they should be well out of this valley. I wonder how much longer they have to live. Of course, if someone gave them a warning of what was about to happen.
Minor earthquake. Value 3.2. Epicenter 1,400 yards. Bearing indeterminate.
That does it. I'm going to warn them. To the chariot. Come in, chariot. Come in.
Daylight. A few minutes ago it was pitch black. It's a strange planet. I thought for sure we'd have 3 or 4 more hours before dawn.
Across the ice. And it's morning. Hey, and it's not cold anymore either. Mom, we're starved. When are we going to stop for breakfast?
I don't know. We'll see what your father says. John?
Oh, we stop in a few minutes. I want to make some observations anyway.
Good.
Hey, do you hear that? Yeah. Well, raise the antenna.
Jupiter 2 calling. Jupiter 2 calling. Chariot, do you read me?
Smith. What's the matter with the radio? Getting some sort of cosmic interference. Smith, this is Major West.
What do you want? I can't hear you.
Well, we're getting a lot of cosmic interference. Get to the point, Smith.
You must return to the spaceship at once. This cosmic interference is just the first signs of...
Now, why should we turn back? So you can get out the crack at us with that robot of yours?
Why do you want to save your own miserable neck? On the contrary, I'm attempting to save your miserable necks. Turn back at once before it's too late. You're in terrible danger. You've got to believe me.
Smith, this is Robinson. Now, why on earth should we believe you?
May I remind you, my dear sir, that we are no longer on Earth.
Oh, that's very clever.
Unless you turn around and come back now, you won't survive another hour.
What would he make of that?
Well, I don't know. He sounds really worried. You don't suppose he...
The only thing I suppose is that he's an expert at sounding that way. And I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw one of those giants. Smith, this is West again. Nice try. Give us a call again sometime. Over and out. Well, it wouldn't have done any harm to listen to what he had to say. Smith! Smith, this is Robinson. Can you hear me? Well, whatever it was, it's too late now.
Hello, Charles. Can you hear me? Listen to me. Hello! Lame-brained, misbegotten skeptics. Now they're all down. Well, we don't need them, do we?
Outside temperature 59 degrees Fahrenheit and rising.
I've known people to make conversation about the weather, but this is ridiculous.
And that ends segment number 11. Well, we've now reached the top 10 of our countdown, and we begin the top 10 with number 10. And segment number 10, or sequence number 10, belongs to this classic episode, War of the Robots. Written by Barney Slater and directed by Sobe Martin. Now, in this episode, Will discovers an alien robot, and which is actually, as a sci-fi fans know, is really Roby the Robot from that sci-fi movie that I forget the title at the moment. I saw the movie, so I know what they're talking about. Robbie the Robot made many appearances. He even appeared in an episode, 2 appearances that I know of in The Twilight Zone. So, I think at least. Yeah. So anyway, I think everybody agrees that this is the best moment of the episode, and so I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube blocks this video based on the fact that this scene is included. I hope they don't, but we'll see. So anyway, this is sequence number 10. When, after Will gets the robotoid, which they call it, functional, nobody knows that the robotoid belonged to a people who had left the planet, and so the robotoid had its own agenda, which personally affects me because I met a couple of people who pretended to be friend, pretended to have selfless intent and no nefarious or malicious intent at all, and the opposite ended up being true. It happened twice in my life personally, where someone pretended to be a friend and then at the last minute revealed their true nature and revealed malicious and nefarious intent. And it is basically, I guess you could say it is a morality play because we can identify, me personally, with this kind of situation where we are. I think we showed in The Golden Man, which was in an earlier um um part in our countdown. So here we go again with that kind of an idea where things are not really the way they seem. So don't. And I think if you've ever read or seen the play Inherit the Wind, where the attorney talks about Golden Dancer, which was a rocking horse that was all beautiful and gold, and when the sun hit its stirrups, it glittered. But then when he went to rock it, it fell apart and splintered because it was put together with spit and sealing wax. So he said, if something looks beautiful, if something looks too good to be true, go deep under the glitter. Go deep under the golden appearance to see what its intent is. What is the reality of who and what it is. And this episode shows it as well. So without any further ado, here we go with segment number 10.
It is time we talk. Proceed. Now that I have full operational capabilities, your services will no longer be required. I am needed by the Robinsons. I was also here first. The principle of first come, first serve is an old-fashioned concept. My programming has been extensive. My memory banks contain much knowledge. In comparison to myself, you are very ignorant. I have 110 computer units which all function perfectly. You are obviously of a very primitive design. From now on, I will serve the Robinsons. In all ways, I am superior to you. Since there is no need for two of us, you will leave. The Robinsons belong to me. I will not give up my family. The choice is not yours. Already you know what is happening. The Robinsons prefer me. In a short while, I will be indispensable to them, while you will be relegated to the role of an inactive bystander. You are mistaken. Your efforts will be denied by me. You are even more stupid than I first computed. My path is clear. Nothing can stop me. I am very strong. I can stop you. I am armed not only with superior mental powers, but superior weapons as well. You will be stopped. I can destroy you easily, foolish, sad machine. There can be no fight between us. It would not be a contest. You need a small demonstration of my powers. A small reminder of what is in store for you if I am provoked.
And that is number 10. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we will continue in the next episode as we delve further into the top 10 and the segments become even more and more favorite. Okay? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care. And I'll